I arrived at the RCB and immediately, the day I walked in there, I felt like, these guys want me to play every game. I'm so surprised. And obviously Virat was there and he immediately grabbed me and said, the two of us are going to win games of cricket for this team.
So are you in the Federer camp, Nadal camp?
I was Federer until his shoulders started dropping a bit when Nadal started beating him, and I don't like the way he's reacting to this, you know. Usually almost broke my jaw. It was literally, he cut me on my chin, almost broke my neck. But the Delhi Daredevils was in a shambles. I mean, it was, there were lots of poisonous characters in that side, and lots of legends. Doubts in my mind. I heard about this new guy, Bumrah. Who the hell is he? And he's staring at me. I'm like, who are you, man? Now I know who he is. I was off to a flyer. I dominated, and it was almost that brother, the older brother, going like, now it's your time to eat. I've had my food, and now it's your time. And he had even more food plus dessert after me. So, and when I came close, I realized he's still 2 meters short. I can just take the bails off. And I thought, no, I'm going for it. I did the whole night. And now I have lost track of the question. Sorry.
Hello, welcome to cricket.com. My name's Avanish Hegde, and today we're joined by a man who made the Chinnaswamy a theatre most of his times, and more importantly, he actually made the bowlers pray for rain. I'm not joking. He's a man who's made 360 feel normal. Some would call it a glitch in the matrix. Some would say he's pure magic. Some would even call him an alien. We're here to find out the man behind the madness. AB de Villiers, an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for the intro. It was very kind.
It was very kind. I have to be kind because A, I'm an RCB fan, but more importantly, how are you? How's everything going right now?
Very good. Very nice to be in India. We've reached the final legs of the IPL, and I mean it's been a long tournament, but well worth the wait. It's such a great grand finale we have on our hands. So very much looking forward to that. I love traveling here. There's so much to do, so much to see. And I enjoy every experience of coming over here.
That was one of my initial questions to you before we go back to your journey. The fact that India resonates so loudly to you, your fans, you have incredible records against India, even on the field. What is it with this country, and why haven't they made you an honorary Indian already?
India's busy. There's a lot of energy here. There's a lot happening. A lot revolves around cricket. So it's almost like a party. I see it as a party. You can't do it the whole day long. You must come in short batches, like for 5 hours, good party, and then you move. So home is obviously South Africa, but I love coming over here for, about 4 to 6 weeks of the year, generally around the IPL. What connects me to this place is, first and foremost, the humility of the people. And I'm generalizing. I mean, I know obviously not everyone is like that, but that's certainly the welcome that I've got. And I hear a lot of people say that they travel over here, no matter what the status of the person is, they make time for you and they try and help you or try and make you feel comfortable. That's the first thing that stood out to me over the years. And then just the different flavors with regards to cultures, cuisine, the streets, so many different cities you have here, Bengaluru to Mumbai, it's such, so many differences there. And I just love seeing the whole of India, and I have had the great privilege of doing so.
No, indeed. The sights, the sounds, the smells, India is well documented that way. It's eclectic. Yeah. But do you kind of choose Bangalore as your favorite city purely because of better golf courses, or obviously is it RCB?
I mean, it's difficult to say. Mumbai comes with the ocean. So many cities in India come with a special charm. Bangalore I love because it reminds me of home. I grew up in the northern part of South Africa. It's called the Bushveld, so it's not nowhere near the ocean, but lots of wildlife, lots of trees, beautiful landscapes up and down. So Bangalore doesn't necessarily in the city have the up and downs, but it's green and it makes me feel like I'm surrounded by nature. So I've always felt close to nature, and that's why I feel close to that city. And obviously it comes with RCB as well and the cricket. I was picked up at the auction, so it wasn't really my decision. But once I arrived there, I almost immediately fell in love with the place.
We'll come to that first game in Kochi, where he, of course, played for RCB the first time in 2011. We'll come to all the stories that AB has time for us to give us right now with those anecdotes. But I want to start back a little bit earlier. You mentioned Pretoria over there. How was AB de Villiers as a young boy? Was he captivated by sport at the age of 6, 7?
I was sports crazy, literally. I think I had a problem, actually. I loved competing. From a very young age, I was a very competitive person. I think largely due to the fact that I have two older brothers, I had no choice. I had to stand up for myself and try and take them on. Otherwise, I would just get crushed with every single thing that we did in the house. So I was challenged from a young age, and that sort of made me naturally competitive, I think. I mean, I was energetic. I loved life from the minute I was here. Literally just enjoyed myself. Always see the glass half full, and I mentioned that a lot. That is a choice. You have so many choices to make throughout the day, and very often you get the opportunity to choose the glass half full or half empty. And I've consciously made that decision from a very young age. My glass is half full, and things happen in life, there are ups and downs. And from a very young age, I realized that it was tough to get accustomed to from the early stages of life. But then you have choices. As you grow older, you get more experienced. Those highs get higher, but those lows get lower as well. And it's up to you to decide, no matter what happens, my glass is half full.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at life, perspective. And it just makes you think about how you fell in love with sport. My thing with any kid watching any sport, whether it's football or cricket or golf, either it's a team or a player, or either your dad and your brothers were watching it and you just picked on. What was it for you, and what was your first sport that you have memory of?
I definitely golf. I think I was 3 years old when I got a golf club for my birthday, like a tiny little golf club like this. It was a 9-iron. I played with that thing for, I think, 4 years, till I was about 7, and I told my dad, now I've got to bend down to eat the ball, and he said, okay, it's time for golf clubs. But very soon after the age of 3, I think I was 4 when I started playing tennis and started coaching at the age of 5. Played my first tournament when I was 6 in an under-9 tournament. So tennis really was the sport that shaped me as a sportsman. There's no doubt about it. It was the first competitive sport I played. First sport that I got coaching in, serious coaching, like I'm talking 4 or 5 times a week at least.
Okay.
Weekends we would go even sometimes play practice matches at the age of 6. So we took it up seriously. My mom was my coach then. Got a proper coach at the age of 8, 9. The Sullivan family, both the grandpa and the dad coached me because I was friends with the son. And to this day, I mean, the dad still coaches over there in South Africa. Incredible tennis coaches. Anyway, long story short, at the age of 14, when I went to high school, that was the end of tennis. I went to a school that was predominantly driven by team sports, rugby, cricket.
Yeah.
And that's where cricket started creeping in, or sort of catching up.
Yeah, it's in every South African's DNA to, of course, either pick up a cricket bat or, more importantly, even the Springboks, right? They just obviously come out of mind. But like the love for rugby, did it overseed your love for golf or tennis or cricket in many ways? So how did you kind of juggle all those 4 or 5 sports?
So tennis was first, and rugby was a close second. My favorite team sport growing up. There's no doubt about it.
And you had the physique.
No, I'm very small in South Africa compared to the rest of the guys. And I was a late bloomer as well. So, and that is actually the whole rugby story. My biggest dream was to play rugby, to be in the first team of Office and to be the fly-off, which is one of the main rugby schools in South Africa, and to see where that takes me. And I arrived in high school and I played for the 6th team in grade 8. I was literally the 6th best fly-off, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's quite an ego knock, that I just took. I thought I was pretty good at rugby.
And that's when the penny dropped.
I was quite small. I wasn't very physical. The rest of the guys were quite big. stopped playing rugby when I was grade 10. Started playing a bit of hockey for that year and decided I miss it too much. I really love the game, and grade 11 went back. Once again, started fifth team with the open sides, which was once again a big knock, but I decided to keep going. And by the end of that year, I played first team. So, yeah, it happened quickly. And in the entire grade 12 year, I played first team, but also provincial colours. And that's when I broke my arm, dislocated my right elbow. So that sort of took me back, and I said, okay, I think it's cricket. Let's give cricket a go. I'm not going to get as hurt as in rugby.
Fascinating. I mean, it just makes you think about how we love sport generally. And let me just conclude this particular segment by asking you about your sporting idols, because so many current cricketers have considered you as an idol. Now, obviously, I've done some research in terms of you supporting Man United, you loving the Augusta recently and seeing Rory do so well. Who are your sporting idols from the age of 6, 7 till now? Can you name me 4 or 5 names in this glorious generation of sport that we've been?
I most definitely can. For a sports crazy person, it's not too hard. My very first idol, I would say, is definitely tennis stars, John McEnroe. Even though he was quite moody, so he sort of lost me when I started realizing what was going on with his tantrums. So I was about 7, and I said, no, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
Even Lendl, Stefan Edberg, the whole tennis. I missed Bjorn Borg. I was too young for him, or he was before my time.
Pat Rafter.
I mean, yeah, Pat Rafter was a bit later. Ivan Lendl, Goran Ivanisevic, Pat Rafter, then that era came around, then arrived Federer. Now we're talking proper idolizing, you know.
So are you in the Federer camp, Nadal camp?
I was Federer until his shoulders started dropping a bit when Nadal started beating him, and I don't like the way he's reacting to this. You know, I like a guy who always fights, whether you're winning or losing.
Yeah.
Fight till the end, keep your shoulders up, and say, man, I lost today, you were better than me, and move on. And Roger, towards the back end of his career, I felt like he was moping, sulking a bit. I was like, no, man. You're my absolute hero. You can't do that. I like a guy who keeps fighting till the end. He'd lose the first set and he would go, that's not me anymore.
Body language.
He's still one of the greatest of all time, still very close to my heart. Grew up in South Africa. I love the guy. I honestly do. He's very humble. I can relate to that. I like that about him. But along came Nadal, who decided, I will fight till I literally fall over. And I love that about him. Same with Djokovic. Not a lot of people like him. He's quite quirky and jokes around a bit. He doesn't stand back to anyone vocally, but I don't see him as being arrogant. I love the way he fights. Once again, smart, and he never ever gives up. He'll find a way to win the game no matter what. Okay, tennis aside, let's quickly go through South Africans. Ernie Els, when I was growing up from a golfing perspective, Hansie Cronje, John T. Rhodes, 1992 run out, absolutely insane. That shaped me from a cricketing perspective. I actually practiced that run out in the backyard until I was bleeding. There's blood everywhere, literally. I would try it at school. I would show all the kids at school, like, this is how you do the John T run out. And I was like literally 8 years old.
And who was pretending to be Inzamam when you would try?
No, I actually got people to run, I swear. You're laughing. Anyway, crazy. And I don't know if you recall this, but there was a relatively insignificant game at the Wanderers. I think it was Bangladesh, maybe Sri Lanka, where I didn't have to, but I did that dive just to go. I did it once in my professional career. I was wicketkeeper, picked it up, and I realized I can run, and I'm gonna actually get it. And when I came close, I realized he's still 2 meters short. I can just take the bails off, and I thought, no, I'm going for it. I did the whole dive. Anyway, quickly fast forward, rugby idols, too many to mention, and it's probably insignificant, but they won the 1995 World Cup for the first time, and that's where I started dreaming from a cricketing perspective and rugby, like one day I want to win a World Cup. And that's, now you understand a bit more where the sadness comes from, because we haven't achieved that yet as a nation with cricket. I think I'm going to leave it there, because I'm going to speak for 45 minutes here.
Fair, I completely get that. I just want to ask you to just conclude this. If given a chance, there's 3 competitions happening in the world at the same time. Man United in the Champions League final, whenever that is. Augusta, and you can watch it live, literally on course. Or South Africa in a Cricket World Cup final. Where would you be?
Oh no, Cricket World Cup final.
For sure?
No doubt about it.
And second on that list?
IPL final, that's why I'm going tomorrow.
And then basically your tennis and your football.
I mean, individual sports I have so much time for. I would love to watch a Ryder Cup. I think there's a different dynamic to that, where they're in teams. very emotional. All the majors with tennis and golf, Wimbledon, Roland Garros, I haven't been to. Wimbledon, I've been to. US Open, Aussie Open, I've been to. So I've got 2 more to tick. I've driven past Flushing Meadows in New York, but I didn't go around. But well, it wasn't that time of the year. British Open with golf, very special.
F1.
And F1, I've never caught on to that.
I'm pretty sure it'll be called to Monaco some point in time in your life.
I would love that. Yeah. Look, I've watched some F1, some Grand Prix, fantastic, but it's never bitten me. I've even watched the docu-series on Netflix. What's it called again? Driven or
Drive to Survive.
It's Drive to Survive. That's the one. Loved it, but it's just never been a sport where I go wake up and I'm excited.
They should do a cricket one, honestly. Imagine they do that for the IPL.
Oh, that would be... Why haven't they done it?
Honestly, it'll just be a soap opera.
Who's in control of this, man? Come on.
Crazy.
Should we do it?
Yeah, we should. We should honestly explore that. Let's be honest, AB. I know you're a very modest man. You look at even a boy across the road picking up a bat, he still thinks of you, even though you're retired, right? You made your international debut in 2004. I just want to ask you, when did the penny sink in terms of you could play this whole new game of cricket? Because at the time, you had Douglas Marilla ramp, KP played the switch hit, and then you came in and you ripped up the rule book and said, look, here's what I'm going to do.
That's such a good question because it's an interesting one. Honestly, from a young age, I knew I had a bit of X factor. I'm not saying I was good, but I knew there was something
more than just hand-eye coordination.
More than just hand-eye, and but a deep desire and an eye for moments in games and identifying certain areas, and then nothing would give me more pleasure or get me more excited than the idea of pulling something off when everyone went oh, it's finished, And every now and then throughout my life, I would have little glimpses of that, moments. I particularly remember a warm-up game that I played for the Titans, which is my domestic team, an intra-squad. It's not even important, man. I mean, it's 25 guys. They make up 2 teams. We have the coach, and they swap us around, that. And it's a 4-day game, by the way. We arrived there on the end of day 4, and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they want to call the game because we needed 127 in, I think it was 79 balls in a 4-day game. So everyone went can't do it. And so I shook hands with everyone. I walked off, and it was bothering me so much, I went up to the coach. The game's not done. Can we not maybe have a go? He said, it's 4-day cricket. They're going to put everyone on the back. I said, but that excites me. And I think that's the perfect example of how my mind works. I love opportunities like that. And that's what happened with all those shots. It's literally just opportunity of, there's Dale Steyn running in. I know everyone asked me about that game, and we're not supposed to win necessarily. We're in trouble. But then my heart starts beating, and I go there's opportunity here. I get so excited.
Because is there meditation before the premeditation in a way? Because you are literally facing the best bowlers in the world. I keep thinking about Dale Steyn against you with the Chinnaswamy. I was at that game. And for you to take down your own compatriot with such ease and brilliance.
It wasn't easy. It's no meditation consciously.
Okay.
But I think within my system, a lot of things happen. Insane fear, really scared of, I might lose the game for the team, yeah? But at the same time, there's something that's way more powerful than that comes through with that fear. It's just whoa, something can happen here. This is going to be cool if I can pull this off. So it is just what it is. But then those things started happening. I obviously saw Dilshan playing that, the guys trying the switch hits. I mean, looking at the field, I always considered myself a good thinker and understander of what the bowlers are trying to do, where the fielders are going, what the wicket is doing. Very quickly identified that in my innings usually. And then when they started blocking me, I was forced to try different things. And I mean, it just happened. I didn't even practice those shots. I literally just told myself, whatever you do, if you're getting out here, I want you to walk off knowing that you saw the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so just keep your head as still as you can. Do what you need to do, but make sure that when the ball passes your bat, you can see it. So if you miss it, you can go, you know what, he got me. Well done.
Yeah.
Just don't want to walk off and feel like I was all over the place and falling around. And that's where my basics also started. Head still, keep your eyes level with the ground. Little things to make me see the ball better. Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing legacy in terms of just shot making, but is there any particular go-to shot that you enjoyed playing more often than not?
Just the conventional stuff. I knew when I played those well that the bowlers were in trouble on this day. Sean Pollock actually told me that way back in 2006. I went through the biggest dip of my life. I'll never forget the day before a test match at Newlands. This is quite embarrassing. There's press, like media people all over. There are fans watching us at the nets. And I was in such bad form. He had me hitting one-hand shots with like an underarm and a tennis ball, throwing me underarmers. And I'm the opening batsman of South Africa now, hitting left-hand shots. And then he says, now right hand, throw literally 3 meters away from me, throwing and then I would go with my right hand. So for 30 minutes I would practice that. So it was very embarrassing. But going through that, those kind of things sort of helped me think about the game and understand that you can't go through dips and you have to fight through that. And now I have lost track of the question. Sorry.
No, just generally in terms of your legacy and that you've built. In one part which stems out of this legacy is obviously the last 14 years of your life, maybe 17 with the IPL coming about. And people remember you for what you did on the field. I mean, you pretty much know this. You still have the most man of the match awards in IPL history. Do you know how many you have?
I saw it the other night. I had no idea, but it popped up and I saw it was, I think, 25, right?
Yeah. And out of the 25, which one do you think stands the most tallest in your head?
Obviously, the 200s
Yeah.
were very special, but I think the one that was semi-final in 2016, so unlikely to win that game from the situation we were in. All the main guys were out and I was batting with a tail. I mean, I even looked up and I went like, I know I'm positive, but this looks very dark. and to pull it off from there was pretty special. And to see, I'll never forget that moment when I ran through and I looked up and I just saw this whole team coming towards me. And
I was so scared because your helmet just
usually almost broke my jaw. It was literally, he cut me on my chin with my helmet. Almost broke my neck. I was close to missing the final. Maybe I should have missed the final the way I got out. But anyways, it's funny how you remember things like that as well. Incredible high, incredible low, and we spoke about that earlier. But great memories. I mean, it was special times at RCB.
You mentioned the 200s over there. One stands tall to me is not too far from here in the Wankhede, 133. Some amazing stats that we've pulled out from our lab with that particular knock. And I'm not sure if you know, and not sure if the viewers do, but they will not know now. A fall shot percentage of 3% and lesser in that knock, 133 of 59. Ricky Ponting, after the game, who was a coach in Mumbai, told Jonty saying, this guy's literally got everything right in this game. I've not seen a better innings period.
Yeah.
When you reflect 10 years down the line, are those moments the ones that has created this legacy and things like that people remember?
Those are the kind of knocks you do remember. It's not always the flashy ones. I think the one with the Green Day at the Chinnaswamy, I had better, like more powerful, more flashy, cool shots, big sixes. Where the Wankhede that day was just, it was like you say, almost flawless. Heat, humidity, what I'm not accustomed to. Just also losing wickets early, just coming in, feeling pressure, and countering that. I think was Harbhajan not also there?
Yeah.
I think he also played. Wasn't sure about his Dusra. Was he going to bowl it? Does he still have that toppy? Because he was working on it at that time. So lots of doubts in my mind. I heard about this new guy, Bumrah. Who the hell is he? And he's staring at me. I'm like, who are you, man? Now I know who he is.
And that day was still apparently his most expensive spell in IPL history, one of his. None for 50.
Yeah, and he didn't do much wrong. I was just honestly, I was on a cloud that day. And maybe the heat in a way sometimes helps or helped me. Obviously not overeating, but when you are very hot, you almost don't overthink things and you just try and conserve energy as much as possible. And maybe that took me off my mind, off not thinking too much and overthinking the situation.
Yeah.
But I remember the flow was more a normal innings compared to some other ridiculous things I've done. That was like I had to build a little bit. I was close to run a ball, maybe just better at 20, I think, maybe 25 or 19, something like that. Just a good, solid innings, didn't make mistakes, took the bowling on at the right time, identify the right moments, and just an absolute joy also to have Virat at the other end, obviously.
Yeah, you mentioned the partner in crime there. Which is that one IPL partnership which stands closest to your heart with Virat? Because obviously he's at the other end saying, come on, AB, shot, go for it and stuff, and you're more kind of reserved. The conversations happening mid-pitch, which one comes to mind?
Yeah, the Green Day I remember more clearly. obviously, I alluded to the fact that it was hot here in Mumbai that day at the Wankhede. So I honestly have a little bit of memory loss. I just remember it flowed. So I don't remember much of Virat there that day. With the Green Day at the Chinnaswamy, I very clearly remembered what happened there. I was off to a flyer, I dominated, and it was almost that brother, the older brother going like, now it's your time to eat. I've had my food, and now it's your time. And he had even more food plus dessert after me. So, yeah, just a very nice connection we had that day. He allowed me to free up. He had no ego at the other end and just said, my older brother, have fun. It's your time. And then I said, I've got enough now. Thanks. Now it's your turn. It was almost like a movie.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. And we didn't say much to each other. There was just a flow and an understanding, and very enjoyable, memorable knock. As I said, not my best.
Yeah.
But I also didn't make many mistakes. But I feel I've batted better than that before. I remember there was an over where Jadu had me in trouble playing and missing. So I wasted a few balls. But just usually I wouldn't miss that if I was really on song. But yeah, just a special day out. Green Day, packed Chinnaswamy with Virat at the other end.
Yeah, I mean, sticking with the IPL, because I know we're strapped for time, so I'll try to keep my questions pacier. What's the difference between 2008 to 2010 at Delhi Daredevils to 2011 to 2021 in RCB? I mean, obviously the management of RCB, you have developed a superb bond with them, and all those guys are family to you all. But was it also the fact that you like Bangalore, the city, the food, the precincts, the golf courses? It was almost like you were the product of that environment.
Man, it's a tricky question, and I would hate to give you names because I hate
names.
burning people, you know. But the Delhi Daredevils was in a shambles. I mean, there were lots of poisonous characters in that side,
But didn't you have such a good side, AB?
and lots of legends. So it's such a bittersweet moment for me because I remember it fondly, and some of the highlights of my life and career was there, spending time with the Glenn McGrath and Dan Vittori. That's where we got close. But these guys were my heroes, and I was so scared of them growing up. Like a McGrath, I mean, I played against him in 2006 in a test match, and I could hardly breathe, literally, and never spoke a word to him. And then in the next minute, I'm sitting here in 2008, and he sits next to me and goes, I like the way you play. I'm like, what's going on there? So from those highs to also realizing there's some cancerous characters the other side. And no need to mention names, but so it was a very bittersweet 3 years for me. Also wasn't backed as I would have liked to. I enjoyed Shippy as the coach from New South Wales that coached there, and he backed me a little bit. But also I didn't perform as well as I wanted to, but I never felt like I was going to get more than 3 games, for instance. So it was always like, and for a youngster, it's a tough situation to be in. 2009 was nice. I played almost the entire season there in South Africa. Came back, I thought I was going to be the man. All of a sudden not playing again. So it was really mixed feelings. Told I was going to be retained, and then the next minute I see I'm in the auction. I didn't know what even happened. So weird things happened.
Maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
100%.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. I arrived at the RCB, and immediately the day I walked in there, I felt like, these guys want me to play every game. I'm so surprised. They just went like, you're the man. You're going to grow here. You're going to become a great player with us, and you're part of the family. Done and dusted. Just whether they meant what they said or not, I felt I was backed. I felt part of a family. And obviously Virat was there, and he immediately grabbed me and said, the two of us are going to win games of cricket for this team. So just a pure trust, from a trust point of view, I felt I belonged, and immediately fell in love with the fans, the people, the city, the young vibe, the atmosphere, the green gardens of Bengaluru. And they started loving me as well. So it was a two-way street, and it was history from there.
Do you remember that first innings that you played against?
I do. Murali, I remember playing one of the better knocks against Murali because I was always aware of the best bowlers in the side.
Yeah.
And I remember Murali was there. I remember Srisant was there. I had a problem with him at the time. He got me out in test matches a few times. So always remembered my foes individually. Because of tennis, I was very accustomed to one-on-ones.
Yeah.
So I remember Murali and Sri Sant, and I remember playing a really good knock. Hitting Murali for a 6 or 2 over mid wicket, playing Sri Sant incredibly well, and we won.
I mean, just makes you think about your elephant-sized memory as well. Really speeding on then, because with regards to the IPL, generally it's left such a great taste in everyone's mouth since it's kind of come through. What's your fondest IPL memory? I mean, 2016 comes close to you, but was there more to it?
My fondest IPL memory, that's really tough. Just being with RCB, I would say. The 2011 season was a very enjoyable one as well. We ran into a steam train there in that final, but we played much better, I feel, during that season, and we just could get that over again, but we can't. And we had a really good team as well at that time in 2011. Just the connections I made throughout.
And the team outings.
Yeah, my time at RCB, the connections I made, the friendships with Virat, and so many more to mention. I mean, I've mentioned Vittori already. So many great friends.
Do you still go back and visit certain cafes or restaurants?
I haven't been back to Bengaluru for a while now, a couple of years. I need to go there soon. But I have some really nice spots I've been to. Great food, and there's some cool bars as well. And places where you can taste some beer, breweries, and very, very cool city.
Okay, super. I might need to retire after this interview, but speaking of retirement, really quickly, AB, because it made me think about your good friend Virat Kohli and him calling a retirement on his test career. Kind of similar to you in terms of a premature retirement, because you were 34, people still think that you can play till today. Do you compare it to yourself, what Virat did?
I know we were in the same boat because we spoke about it. He's been in touch with me over the last 6 months. Thank goodness, because I did have a bit of a foot fault not so long ago when they were expecting their second child. So I was very relieved when he started talking to me again. So he was talking about, we all know he went through a bit of a patch and sort of wanted to bounce a few ideas off me. How did I get through certain moments of my life? So I knew what kind of phase he was going through, considering his age, how many games he's played, the dynamics of being in the team all the time, the politics thereof as well. Lots of things weigh in on you. And I shared with him from the heart what I felt and what I think, what I'm seeing from the side, watching him on the screen. So very happy that he's still around playing cricket. And the decision of not playing Test cricket would have come from the heart, and I support him 100% with that. He's had a wonderful career, and I want him to enjoy his cricket until the very last ball. And if that is the way forward for him, then great. I'm right behind him. Hopefully, a lot more white ball cricket for him left.
You heard it from the one man and the man only. AB de Villiers, thank you so much for your time. It's an absolute pleasure for me to conduct this interview. Just get an insight of your early on career and generally how he's kind of shaped up to be the man he is today. And props to him, because there's so many sort of initiatives which we've hardly touched upon with AB, but we'll always, of course, have another opportunity to interact with the alien, AB de Villiers.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.